You've heard the stories, you've seen the legends, but what do you know about the truth behind Whitebeard's rise to power and his dramatic end? Welcome to the channel, relax and stick around for the rise and fall of the strongest pirate the world has ever seen. Some people call him Whitebeard, some people call him Pops. I call him the GOAT though. But before any of that, before the fame, he was just an orphan from a poor town living by himself. This is why his biggest dream in life was to have a family of his own to protect. He went out to sea at a young age like one tends to do, taking care of his village, and ended up being the first of many islands he took care of throughout his long life. Now we don't know much, if anything, about his early family life. Maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe we'll get more Whitebeard lore when we see Weevil's story unfold. I haven't forgotten about him. I'm sure his backstory will definitely give us some more Whitebeard lore though. If not though, we at least got to see Marco beat his ass for hunting down Whitebeard's crew like that. Come on, Marco. That's why he's the GOAT though. Instead of hating the world, being angsty for being born unlucky, he decided, why not to become the strongest man alive and create a big family for myself. Unfortunately for Whitebeard though, he wasn't a big hit with the ladies, so he had to adopt. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Before the Whitebeard pirates, before the mustache, before the fame, he was just Newgate. We don't know much about this era, and even then, he didn't care about material things. He just wanted a family. This led him to his next big chapter. Now he's joined up with the legendary Mysterious Rocks Pirates. I can't wait to see much more of this group. We're gonna learn so much more when this backstory finally hits the streets. Hopefully, it can fit some of the issues I had with Kaido. I talked about him in this video right here. Let me know in the comments what reveal you're looking forward to the most. Now we don't know much more about this era of his life either. We see him recruiting a young Kaido, and we know very little about the God Valley incident before he left to form the Whitebeard Pirates. All we really know is that the Rock Pirates went up against a combined force of Garp and Roger, which is very OP by the way. For now, all was good. He was the strongest man, he created his family, he even found a stray samurai to join him for a while. We get to see a glimpse of one of his legendary crew battles with Roger, who to Whitebeard's annoyance, asked him to borrow a family member. But that's someone else's story, isn't it? He continued ruling the seas for a long time, even had one last meeting with Roger, saying his goodbyes, and learned about the true will of D before saying his goodbyes to Roger. We all know what happens next. Whitebeard gives Ace a home, and eventually, Ace even climbs up the ranks to become a commander, and life was good for the crew. Until Blackbeard turned their lives upside down. At this point though, he wasn't yet Blackbeard, he was one of Whitebeard's sons, Teach. He killed one of his own brothers and fled though. Whitebeard knew how dangerous Teach was, and knowing that he was getting old, he decided, against his better judgment, that for once, he would let the most heinous crime that one could commit against their own crew go unpunished. But not Ace. Against his father's wishes, Ace went to chase Blackbeard and got caught, which leads us to a turning point in the series for many characters, and Whitebeard is no exception. Saying he had a great showing is an understatement. He went to war with the world government, and even old and sick, he was still the strongest one there. A turning point in the war was when they convinced Squad, one of Whitebeard's sons, to attack him, believing he chose Ace over the rest of them. Another instance of someone hating Ace because of his blood, not because of who he was. But this time, it was one of his own brothers. But Edward, proving that he loves all of his sons the same, he forgives Squad and even embraces him. But the damage was already done, and Whitebeard suffered a terrible wound. As he continued fighting against all odds, he put his trust in Luffy and ordered his men to back him up. It paid off, and Luffy was able to make his way to the platform to free Ace. But again, as we all know, this effort ended up being in vain. Whitebeard fought his heart out to provide his men a path to freedom after they freed Ace, but Ace threw away his life and threw away Whitebeard's sacrifice in vain. He was killed by Akainu after Akainu assaulted Ace and provoked him to turn around. And afterwards, Whitebeard unleashed one of the biggest beatdowns that we've seen in the entire series on Akainu. And now, in another ironic twist of fate, another one of his sons, who for a long time he loved and protected, took this opportunity to finish off Whitebeard for good. Teach stole Newgate's devil fruit and his title as emperor eventually. Even in his final moments though, Whitebeard was still going out fighting. He proceeded again to lay another beat down, this time on Teach, before him and his entire crew was able to overpower Whitebeard. But again, even in his final moments, Whitebeard's last breath was backing up Roger's claim, confirming that the One Piece was real and ensuring the age of pirates lives on even further. And now with Whitebeard dead, it was not looking good for the remaining Whitebeard pirates. With Akainu and the Marines out for blood, it was looking like they might be ended right there. But good guy Shanks showed up and put an end to the war, ending the slaughter of the remaining Whitebeard pirates, gathering up Whitebeard and Ace's things, and taking them far away to get buried somewhere where they can finally rest in peace. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, tap one of these boxes on the screen, and I'll meet you over there in the next one. Peace.